Do you love fresh, fruity, gulpable red wine? I know I do. And there's a winemaking technique called carbonic maceration that results in wines with fresh and fruity aromatics. What is carbonic maceration? In this episode of Crush on This, we're going to talk about what carbonic maceration is and share 2 wines made with this style that might surprise you. Enjoy this video, give it a like, comment anytime during the video, and subscribe to our channel for more. A primary way to make wine is to pick the grapes, then destem them and crush. Yeasts, either naturally present or added, then eat the sugars in the juice, converting them to alcohol and CO2. But that is not what happens with carbonic maceration. Carbonic maceration does not use yeast to start fermentation. Instead, carbonic maceration is a technique in which the initial fermentation occurs from the inside out.
The grapes arrive at the winery and the intact bunches of grapes are put into a vessel filled with carbon dioxide, and then it's sealed. What happens is that the fruit is starved of oxygen and will begin to release naturally present enzymes, which in turn act similar to the yeast by breaking sugars down into alcohol. Basically, this means that with carbonic maceration, the alcoholic fermentation begins inside the grape. Ultimately, when the alcohol reaches 2%, the berries burst, releasing their juice, and the fermentation is complete with the yeast.
Carbonic maceration is a winemaking technique that's applied primarily to light and medium-bodied red wines. It results in a softer style wine with less tannins. It also increases the fresh and fruity aromatics in a wine. And 2 common descriptors for carbonic macerated wines are banana and bubblegum.
The most famous region known to use carbonic maceration is Beaujolais, one of my favorite regions in France. Throughout Beaujolais, the light to medium-bodied Gamay grape will go through full carbonic maceration or semi-carbonic maceration, depending on the winemaker's desired style. But think of the most famous carbonic macerated wine, Beaujolais Nouveau, the early drinking wine that is released just weeks after fermentation is complete.
While Beaujolais may be most famous for doing carbonic maceration, producers around the world may combine whole bunch and whole berry fermentations. And today, Cindy and I have 2 wines that are not Beaujolais, and they are carbonic maceration wines. So Cindy, tell us about your wine.
That's right. I mean, surprise, not from Beaujolais. I chose a wine actually from New York State, and it's a Cab Franc from Lamoureux Landing, found on the east side of Seneca Lake in the cool climate Finger Lakes region. So it's the Lamoureux Landing Wine Cellars 2020 T23 unoaked Cabernet Franc for only $20. So this is a 3rd generation family winery. They have over 119 acres of planted vineyards, separated into more than 20 vineyard blocks. And the family practices sustainable wine growing. Of 100% Cabernet Franc, this unoaked example was youthful and light in color, thanks to carbonic maceration and stainless steel aging. The palate profile was fresh and fruit forward, with notes of just picked raspberries, black cherries, blueberries, and strawberries, finely grained tannins, and bright acidity. I mean, this is such a great wine. So delicious. Honestly, it is in that same category as Gamay because it's light, it's fresh, it's just delicious. And it is such a great barbecue wine. It's not too heavy, it's not too light. It can be enjoyed with lighter fare, such as caprese salad, pasta dishes, as much as it can be, enjoyed with a burger. So, Allie, what's in your glass?
Well, my selection is the Piazza Carbonic Graciano 2019 from the Bella Vista Vineyard in Ballard Canyon in the San Ynez Valley. This is a $30 bottle of wine. Piazza Family Wines is a young winery started in 2018 by Ron and Nancy Piazza. They've been in the area since the late 80s, having first purchased a property in Santa Rita Hills. But when they were looking to find a property to build their home in 2017, they purchased the Bella Vista Vineyard in Ballard Canyon. It had originally been planted in 2001, and it has been continuously farmed organically ever since then. And they are growing Graciano, Grenache, Nebbiolo, Sangiovese, and Syrah. And the winemaker is the ever-talented Gretchen Volker. And so here's the interesting thing. This is just a little side note. So Graciano is a black skin grape that can be found in northern Spain, and it's often blended with Tempranillo and Rioja, and you can also find it in Navarro. But here's a little funny thing that happened. There was a lot of confusion. People thought that Graciano was synonymous with Monastrell, also known as Mourvèdre.
Sure.
But Graciano is actually known as Morastel in France, where small amounts are grown in the Languedoc. So what happened is in 2004, the grape was brought to California, and many producers thought they had Monastrell or Mourvèdre. But a few years ago, just a few years ago, they learned that what they really had was Morastel or Graciano. So suddenly there's a lot of Graciano popping up or appearing on labels in Santa Barbara wines, which is really fun. And so for the 2019 vintage, Gretchen decided to play with the Graciano and try carbonic maceration. It underwent carbonic fermentation for 21 days. And then after a native fermentation that followed, the wine spent 6 months on the lees with 25% new French oak. It's also a wine that's unfiltered and unfined, and it only comes in at about 11.8% alcohol. And I mean, I have so much fun smelling this. It has like notes of violets and blackberry and wild berries. I mean, there's even a little bit of root beer, a little gaminess to it, also a little leather, but not in some overpowering way. But I've had this wine before, I will say.
Yeah, I just want to try it now. I want to reach over and grab it from you.
I know, it's got like cherry cola and red fruit notes, but it's got this really fresh acidity and this long finish. And I love this wine by itself, but I got to tell you what I've had it with.
What?
Pizza.
Pizza.
It is fantastic with pizza.
What kind of pizza? What
Italian
kind of pizza?
margarita pizza.
Ooh.
Just some mozzarella, little
basil,
tomato sauce, some basil, and
oh my gosh.
Talk about gulpable pizza and the Carbonic Graciano, fantastic. So you got to hurry because only 98 cases were made of this wine. I'm telling you.
Good to know. Good to know. And I think that if once we understand the process, such as carbonic maceration, I think it's kind of fun to look at a label and say, oh, this is made using that that process. Let's try it, and
Absolutely.
just give some other wine a chance to show what it can do, and give a winemaker.
Does it say it on your label?
Let's see. It does not. But I had talked to the producer, and so I knew it was. But
yeah, no,
that's okay. I mean, sometimes they do say it.
Yeah, if you drink a Beaujolais wine, it doesn't say carbonic on it. True. It's just a technique used in the area. But in cases like this, it says on here carbonic Graciano. And I've had other wines that will say like carbonic Carignan or carbonic something else. So, look for it on a label or delve into a winemaking style.
Yeah. I mean, it is okay to do research ahead of time before you go to the wine shop.
It is. So if you love those super drinkable, fresh, fruity red wines, look for wines made with carbonic macerations. Do a little research, or some of the boutique producers use carbonic maceration on the label, and they will let you know up front, and you'll know what you're going to get in the bottle.
That's right.
So we would love to hear if you've enjoyed a carbonic wine. Was it a Beaujolais or was it something else? Let us know what you think. Give our episode a like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to our channel today. Cheers.
Cheers.